What is the right time to start massage for a baby in terms of age?
Okay.
Yeah.
So, with regards to massage at home, I think that parents should start from the day they bring their baby home from the hospital.
Really?
Yep.
What kind of benefits a new parent can expect from this?
First benefits that I will say that are really quick benefits that you would see really quickly, okay? Like the spike in brain activity that it gives babies to have, like to be massaged, to have that loving touch. It's so good for their development.
Hey mamas, welcome back to Momsibilities. Today we have a very special guest with us in the studio, Carly. She is a certified infant massage and baby yoga instructor for the past 5 years. But she has been caring for newborns for almost a decade now, a little
Yeah,
over
over
a
a
decade.
decade, yeah.
She has a lot of knowledge to share with us in terms of how baby massage can help babies in development, in cognitive development and physical development, and a lot more. So just stay glued to it. There's a lot of knowledge coming. Let's get started.
Hi.
We just like to have an introduction from you, Carly,
Sure.
for our mama listeners.
Yep.
Like how you started, how did you end up in infant baby massage?
Oh, it's one of those very windy journeys. Yes, it's not something I planned on necessarily, but it's funny how life kind of leads us to things that speak to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at least you were already caring for newborns, so
I
it
was.
led you to this,
Yes,
right?
exactly. So it all started over in the UK. I lived in I lived in the UK for 10 years, in London for 8 of those years. And while I was there, I spent a lot of those years working as a nanny, a maternity nurse, and a newborn care specialist. So I was really working very closely with newborns, with postpartum families, helping them come into, right home from the hospital, basically, and adjust to their lives with a new baby. And in London, if anyone's worked as a nanny, you guys know those nanny hours are super long. It's like 7 in the morning till 8 at night. And I was exhausted and I was like, I still want to work with kids, but let's try something different. So I ended up working, teaching this children's multisensory class. If anyone is in the UK, it was heart beeps. I taught heart beeps classes. And then that was from children who were from newborn till about 4 or 5 years old, different stages, different classes. And then when COVID hit, we couldn't really do in-person classes anymore. And I had an amazing boss who was like, Carly, I want to certify you to teach baby massage and baby yoga because that's something that you can do online for families as we're like stuck inside. So I did my certification in 2020 and started teaching online in 2020 during one of the many lockdowns that we had in 2020. And so that was how I started in baby massage, and I loved it. And then when we went back to in person, I was teaching in person. And then about 2.5 years ago, I moved back here to Canada. I had some family issues. My dad got sick, and I just decided it was time to come back to Canada. I'm from Canada originally.
Yeah.
And when I moved back, I noticed that no one was doing baby massage. And so I'm like, okay, I have to teach Canadian parents about baby massage, all of the many reasons why it's a wonderful thing. So I've kind of been doing a mix of like some online, some in-person classes, and now I have a digital course as well that people can do from anywhere in the world.
Yeah, that's the best part because I've seen your website too. And I want to specifically mention my reason for having you and talking about this is purely for, making new parents aware of how important it is and how important it can be for their baby. I know a lot of people might be doing it, but a bigger part of the audience is not really doing it, and they don't know the benefits that they can get from baby massage. And it's so so raw and real. Like you don't have to give anything to baby like orally. You don't have to feed anything. You just help them ease a lot of things just by a gentle touch.
Exactly.
Right? So, Carly, when we talk about benefits, I personally want to know what kind of benefits a new parent can expect from this, and some certain stuff that
Yeah.
will make them think like, oh, really, I could fix this with just baby massage, or I could make my baby little bit more at ease just with the massage. What kind of benefits we can have?
So many. Okay, so this is where I could literally go on and on about this like
Go on.
forever.
That's what we are talking
Okay,
about.
I'm gonna
Go
share
for it.
lots of it with you. Feel free to edit it out because I can go on and on for too long. And it's funny because at this point in my classes, when I taught in person, I would kind of preface it with, I can go on about this forever, but I
Yeah.
really try to edit myself back because then you get this look in people's eyes. This like they're tired because they didn't
Yeah.
sleep last night, and I'm going on and on and on about all of this, but I'm very passionate about this.
Go for it.
So, okay. First benefits that I will say that are really quick benefits that you would see really quickly, okay? It helps babies' digestion. It can help them if they're teething, can help them if they're constipated, can help them if they're gassy or colicky. It can help them fall asleep more quickly and sleep more
Wow.
deeply. Yep. Like those are really quick benefits that like I think every new parent wants those benefits, right?
Quick benefits, you mean it works really fast?
Yes.
Like, for example, a baby's colic or
Yeah.
really very gassy and crying.
Yeah.
We can ease the baby very quickly.
Very, very
Wow.
quickly. Yeah. So the one thing I will say is if you have a baby that's suffering like long term from colic,
Yeah.
and they've already been suffering for say a couple of weeks, and you come and start the colic massage that I have on my website, and you start doing that with your baby, it might take a couple of days of doing it a few times a day to see that benefit, okay? But if your baby's constipated, I've had so many people come to my class, and at the beginning of the class, they're like, oh my goodness, Carly, my baby's not pooped in like 5 days. I'm scared now. And I'm like, that's okay. And we do a tummy massage, and they've literally had the most massive poo like by the end of our class.
By the end of your class.
Literally.
Oh
Yeah.
my
So
God.
within like 45 minutes,
Wow.
or sometimes they'll get home and they'll send me a text later and be like, Carly, we had a big poo. Yay.
That's a big celebration.
Yes, it really is.
It's a
Honestly,
reason for celebration.
you don't realize before you have children, you don't realize how much you're going to talk about poo. But like,
definitely.
you talk about it all the time when you have
I
a baby.
remember this was something I was searching online,
Mm-hmm.
3 a.m., 6 a.m., 2 p.m.
Yep.
Like, is this
Always.
normal?
Yep.
Baby hasn't pooed for 24 hours. Is that normal?
Yep.
Poo is this color. Is this normal?
Yep.
So that search.
It's a big
Yeah.
point of discussion when you
Yes.
have a baby, for
It is.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those are like really quick benefits that you can see. Also, like with teething, oh man, once babies hit that like 4 to 6 month mark and the teething really kicks in, so many parents would come to my classes and they barely slept the night before because baby was so fussy. Baby couldn't sleep very well because they
Yeah.
were so uncomfortable from the teething pains. And they're just constantly chewing on everything they can get their hands on, drooling lots all over the place, fussy, not sleeping very well. And with just like a couple minutes of massage, you can follow again a tutorial that I have on my website where I show a simple intraoral massage, but also massaging the jawline. And it can really help to alleviate some of that tension and pain that babies feel from
This
teething.
I had no idea about it.
Yeah.
My baby is like only 3.5 months old.
Yeah.
I'm approaching that time soon.
Yeah.
So I'm so glad because I see how babies cry so much and it's painful for the parent too. I mean,
sure.
for me, if my baby cries for anything, it hurts. Like,
Of course.
I'm like, I just want to grab him and soothe him
Yeah.
however I can. I'll leave everything. And then the teething part is like so painful and it's not like a day or two. I think it
It's
keeps on
months.
going. Yeah. So
Even years.
if that is something that we can ease the baby with just massage, it's great.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Anything,
good.
especially when it's natural, right?
Yeah.
So it's not
It's natural.
Exactly.
Exactly,
You're not
yeah.
relying on like any kind of drugs or
do we
medicines.
use any kind of products when we are doing massage, like any particular oil or moisturizer? I know
Yeah.
that I use a particular oil, but just for the listeners,
Yeah.
what is the best product that we can use?
So my oil of choice is organic cold pressed sunflower oil. it's very neutral oil. So it doesn't have a strong smell. It's not greasy. It absorbs really quickly. It's very hypoallergenic as well. So when I taught my in-person classes, I would always give the parents a little bottle of massage oil with the sunflower oil. And I teach everyone how to do a patch test. So you always
Yeah.
take a bit of the product and put it on the inside of baby's wrist and watch it for about 24 to 48 hours.
Yeah.
Right? Before you put it all over their body,
Yeah,
obviously.
it might not suit the baby's
Yeah,
skin.
exactly. And I've taught this to hundreds of families, and I've never had a negative reaction. So it's my oil of choice.
Yeah.
But good oils can also be grapeseed oil, almond oil, coconut oil. I don't love coconut oil. Maybe go for fractionated coconut oil. Okay.
How about virgin olive oil or avocado oil? Because I've heard some doctors
Yeah.
recommending that too.
Yeah, so there have actually been studies that have been done that show that olive oil can actually aggravate eczema. So I would never recommend using extra virgin olive oil on your baby's skin because
Yeah.
especially their skin is so sensitive
Oh,
and
yeah.
many babies are prone to eczema. So I would stay away from that personally.
Okay, so almond oil,
Yeah.
grapeseed oils, cold
Yeah.
pressed sunflower oil.
Yeah, those are the
Basically,
best. Yeah.
seed oil works well.
Seed
right?
oils are good. Yeah. I would just stay away from anything that's quote unquote a baby oil. With regards to like any product that's
Yeah.
been labeled as a baby product.
Yeah.
Honestly, just my number one recommendation is read the ingredients list. The more
yeah.
ingredients, the worse it is for your baby.
Definitely.
If it
I
only
agree to
has
that.
like one or two oils mixed, then you're fine, right? But then you get lots of oils and additives and all these things, and that can be really damaging to your baby's skin. Yeah.
Yeah. When we talk about timing, this is something that I personally wanted to ask you too.
Yep.
When we talk about timing for massage, there could be different timings, but when somebody is trying to set up a routine for their baby,
Yeah.
this is something that we see a lot of discussions everywhere.
Yeah.
When when a mom is trying to set up a routine for the baby,
Yeah.
what is the best time that you suggest they should do massage? And again, I completely understand, and I personally also think like whatever works for the mom and the baby is best. Nobody has to do what others are doing, but then just like a common a common set of routine, let's say bedtime.
Yeah.
We want the baby to sleep and have a sound sleep. So what are your thoughts on timings?
Yes,
if
so
that
I
matters?
have lots of thoughts on timing. So I really recommend trying to make it part of your bedtime routine.
Yeah.
I'll explain why in a moment, but really ideally, if you're giving your baby a bath every night or even every other night, whatever, it would be bath, massage, feed, and then bed. Or if you don't bath your baby every night, then just massage, then feed, then bed. There's a couple reasons for this. So babies love routine, and nighttime sleep is the most important sleep for baby
Yeah.
and for the family,
Yeah.
right? So you want your baby to sleep as well as possible, as long as possible through the night. Now, studies have actually shown babies that are massaged before bed, they fall asleep faster, they sleep more deeply, and they sleep for longer. So that's like a win-win-win, right? I mean,
Yeah.
so really before bedtime is the very best time that you can do it.
Yeah.
But that said, maybe you have a toddler at home and bedtime is chaos, right? Then I want you to find another time during the day that your baby is in something called a quiet alert state. Okay, so babies have different states of sleep and alertness, right? But when they're awake and alert, they might either be drowsy or in a quiet alert state or in an active alert state. Okay, drowsy and quiet alert are both okay. Active alert, I mean, go for it, but I'm going to tell you it's not going to be super productive because when they're in an active alert state, they want lots of sensory input. They want to play, they want to move, they want to interact with you, and so they're not going to want to necessarily stay in one place for a massage. So that's why if they're in a quiet alert state, which means they're awake, their eyes are open, and they're looking around, but they're quite content, just chilling, right?
Yeah.
That's a quiet alert state, or when they're drowsy. So that's why like just before sleep time kind of, or even just after. So those are the most productive states. I have very few rules when it comes to massage. I'll tell you my 2 rules. One is you're not going to massage a baby who's sleeping or crying. Okay. So if your baby is sleeping, they cannot consent. We can talk about consent in a second because I think we
Yeah.
spoke about that briefly and why it's so interesting.
Yes.
But also, if they're crying, they're in a distressed state. And you want massage to be associated with positive feelings.
Yeah.
So don't force a massage on your baby in either of those states.
It's such a good point when
Yeah.
you said that you want the baby to associate with something positive, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So I'm trying to understand, and at the same time, I'm trying to relate it that I was also trying to set a routine. I
Yeah.
did not go to social media or anywhere.
Yep.
I simply didn't want to take something from someone that works for them. It might not work for me. And I already started doing this, I would say maybe in the first month. I was giving a massage and then I would put him to sleep after feeding. And that really worked for me, and I could see that he was associating it with something happy.
Yeah.
I could see he's happy, and
Yeah.
whenever we still do that,
Yeah.
and we see that he gets happy, so he's like an easy baby with massage. And it is so important
Yeah.
to do it at the right time, like you said, if the baby is crying. So okay, what happens when we are trying to ease the baby when they are crying?
Yeah. So if you're trying to massage your baby and they're having a negative reaction, just stop.
Stop.
I recommend just trying to give them a moment of still touch first. So just like hold your hands on them, try and talk to them, make eye contact, help them to calm themselves.
Yeah.
If that doesn't work, pick them up, walk around with them, try and re-engage them. If still no, then they probably have a physical need, right? Like they're hungry or they've done a
Yeah.
poop and you need to change their diaper or
Yeah.
whatever reason that
Right.
babies have for crying.
Yeah, it's not always we can soothe them with
No.
massage.
Yeah. And if it's
Yeah.
not successful, it's okay. Just
Yeah.
stop and try again later.
Yeah.
Right? But we don't want to force it on them. That's kind of the key, right? Just before we move on, and maybe we'll talk about consent again.
Yes.
I want to talk about my second rule because it's important, and it's that we respect the diaper zone. Okay, the diaper or nappy if you're from the UK, and personally in my classes, I would never have parents strip their babies naked. Okay, they would always have a diaper on. In your home, after a bath, your baby is probably naked, right? But there's still that zone that is normally covered by a diaper. And those are private areas of our body.
Yeah.
And even when they're tiny, from that time when they are not even yet aware of their body,
Yeah.
we want to be teaching them that this is a private part of the body that's to be respected, right?
Very good point.
Yeah.
Very
so
good point.
we don't massage that area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, we shouldn't strip them naked. I don't prefer doing that even,
Yeah.
in the presence of any other family member.
Yeah.
It's just either it has to be me or my partner.
Yep.
And it's a very good point that if we start doing it from the very beginning, they will learn better and they
Yeah.
will know better.
Yeah. We're establishing foundations, right? From even when they're tiny. Yeah.
Coming to consent.
Yes, I want to tell you about consent. Okay, so we live in an era that consent is something that's finally really being talked about and understood more so.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't even think, oh, I need to seek consent from my child, right? And I might get backlash from saying that. And you can apply that however you feel appropriate in your family, in different circumstances. But when it comes to massage, I want you to seek consent from your child, okay? And it's super easy to do that. You're gonna give them a cue, okay? And I'm gonna show on the camera, so if you're watching from home, you can see what I'm doing.
Yeah.
If not, I'll describe what I'm doing as well. So you're gonna have your baby on the floor in front of you. Try make eye contact, smile, engage with them. And then as you're making eye contact, you're gonna rub your hands back and forth in their line of sight. This is a sign for massage. And then you're gonna verbalize and say to them, it's time for a massage now, baby. Or let's do a massage, baba. Or however you wanna incorporate that word massage. And if you do that with them every day, After about 3 weeks, they'll know what it means, and you will see their reply. So I have seen this time and time again in my class. Moms come in, dads come in, they've got their baby. Right, it's time for us to start. Okay, let's cue baby in. Let's do some massage, baby. And you see the excitement. You see them get excited. You see them start to like wiggle and smile, and they know what's coming. So that's you seeking consent from your child.
Yeah.
Now, it could be maybe for whatever reason, they're not having it. So maybe you need to kind of pause. Maybe they'll give you a negative response to that, and they'll start to cry, or they'll turn away, or they'll spit up, or whatever that is indicating to you, no, they don't want a massage. That's okay. Give them a hug, give them a cuddle, do something else with them for a couple minutes, and then try again, right? Because babies change very quickly.
It's so important to, normalize this.
Yeah.
As I talk to you, I'm trying to, comprehend this myself, that it really is important to give cues to your baby, because
Yeah.
what else they're going to understand? They don't talk. They cannot tell
No.
us that, no, I'm not in the mood for that right now.
Exactly.
Or this is not what I'm crying for. I need a diaper change, right? So cues are so important. And whether you talk about consent for massage or consent for anything related to baby, we have to do it. It is really important, and I think it's time we should normalize it.
Yeah.
So I completely second that. What is the right time to start massage for a baby in terms of age?
Okay.
Yeah.
So, with regards to massage at home, I think that parents should start from the day they bring their baby home from the hospital.
Really?
Yep. It might look a little bit different because your baby's so tiny, but the benefits from massage should be experienced from the very beginning. Plus, it will aid in building on that as they get older. They'll be familiar with the activity, so it will become more part of your routine quicker. If you have a baby massage course, like an in-person course that you would like to attend near you where you live, I would really recommend waiting until baby's probably about 10 to 12 weeks. Literally, the only reason for that is babies sleep through the entire class when they're younger than that.
Yeah,
and
they're
then
mostly sleeping.
yes,
You're right.
exactly. And then I
Yeah.
find that parents get frustrated because
Yeah.
they come and they want to participate, but they can't because their baby's sleeping.
But then I'm also wondering that when the day that we bring the baby home, he or she is too tiny.
Yeah.
And it feels so fragile to
I
just,
know.
when you're holding the baby, you want to be careful that you're not hurting them.
So
And then
true.
also, this reminds me of something that I read online. It said that how babies are not born with kneecaps. It grows when they are probably around 12 to 14 weeks.
Yeah.
So then what kind of massage are we talking when we are talking about a baby
Yeah.
who's just a day old?
No, that's a really good question. I mean, there is that element of it. And then on top of that, they still have their umbilical stump. So you have to be really cautious of that, right? But just to kind of give you maybe a couple of ideas. First of all, yes, you are going to be very, very gentle. I always teach in my class, if you bring your index finger to your eyelids and you gently apply pressure till it's uncomfortable and then you let off slightly, that's the pressure you use for your baby massage. So it's very gentle. Okay?
I want to try that.
Yeah, you try it.
So when we feel a little bit,
So push slowly increase the pressure until it feels a little uncomfortable and then let off.
oh my God.
So
that's
it's
like
very gentle
very
because
gentle.
yeah, so babies, they have the same number layers of skin as we do, but it's only about 2/3 as thick. So their skin is super, super sensitive to touch.
Yeah.
So you're really like, when we think of massage, we're like, oh yeah, let's get in there, right? But for a baby, you're just kind of caressing their skin, right? So like face massage can be really good for a newborn. It can help them to calm down. It can help them to fall asleep. Hand massage, leg massage. Leg massage is really great. I don't know a baby who doesn't like leg massage. Babies are kind of hit and miss when it comes to face massage. And then slowly, like as their stump falls off, you can give them a little bit of a tummy massage. And you kind of slowly build. But in realistic terms, if I'm saying to you, start massaging your baby from day one, that massage is probably only going to be a couple minutes long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, they are still, some of the babies are kind of shedding that outer skin, which is from the amniotic
Yeah.
fluid. So, we don't necessarily have to use a product. We can
Just do dry.
just the
Yeah.
dry,
Yeah.
right?
Because when babies are like that first week or even
Yeah.
two, really, you probably won't use any product at all, just
Yeah.
water on your
Yeah,
baby's skin,
right.
right? So yeah, you can just feel free to do a nice, gentle, dry massage with your baby when they're that tiny. And really, at any point thereafter, you don't have to use oil or cream to give your baby a massage, right?
Sometimes when, let's say, we don't always have a product with us, we are maybe outside,
Yeah.
maybe I'm in a park,
Yeah.
just chilling with my
Yeah.
baby, right?
Yeah.
We could just do it without any product,
Yep.
just a little bit of gentle touch here and there.
Exactly.
They're gonna enjoy it anyway. I mean,
Exactly.
we as adults, we enjoy massages so much.
Yeah.
So babies, like, I have personally seen my baby, he loves massages.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love that because I think the majority of people are like, why should I massage my baby? And I'm like, well, don't you like a massage?
Yeah.
Like, I like a massage. You like a massage.
What do they mean? Like, why should I do it? Instead, I should get it done from someone?
No,
Or
as in,
they
why
don't
should
wanna
they do it, period?
Oh my God, why?
Yeah, exactly.
It's so relaxing.
I know, but I mean, I suppose, I don't know, there are people who don't enjoy a massage for whatever reason, right? Which is fine. But it's,
Wow.
even as adults, it has a lot of benefits for us,
Yeah.
right? Also, can I circle back to some of the benefits I wanted to talk
Yes.
about?
Absolutely. It's just we just jump on.
Yeah, you know, but we're having a conversation, right? So it
Yes.
kind of flows.
I wanted to tell you that you were gonna get back with something that I think I
Oh.
cut you off.
Oh,
The
okay.
benefits, okay.
Okay, yes. Before I forget, I want to make sure that I talk about the neurological and developmental benefits
Yes.
that massage has on babies. So, first of all, touch, they say it's our first language. So, in the womb, our skin is the first organ to develop. So, what that means is in your womb, the first thing your baby is aware of is the feeling of being enveloped and touched by you. That's the first thing that they're aware of.
Yeah.
So, in essence, you could call it their first language. So, when babies are born, that's part of why they're in shock and they cry all the time, is because they're used to being held by you, right? And so, when you can come and share this beautiful, gentle touch with them, you're speaking their language. Now, what that does for your baby's mental health, it helps them feel calm, it helps them feel close to you, it helps build that bond.
Yeah.
Right? That's so important, that bond between parent and child, whether it's mother or father, right? I love when daddies come and do massage for their babies because it helps
Yeah.
build that bond. There's an exchange of chemicals that our
Yes.
bodies produce when we're touched by people we love. So massage is really, really great for that aspect, that mental health of your baby, the bond that they form with you.
Yeah.
And then neurologically, there have been these super cool studies that have been done that show that children who are starved of touch versus children that are bathed, I suppose, in touch is the best word I can think of, right? If they constantly
Yeah.
have that loving touch from their parents, their caregivers.
Yeah.
The effect that that has on their emotional and mental health later in life, even on their grades, is
Wow.
insane.
There's studies to prove that?
Yes, there are studies to prove this.
Oh my
So
God.
touch your children with all of your love.
Yeah.
Hold them, caress them, give them that love because it will help them thrive for their whole life. It's amazing. This what studies have found about all of this. And on my website, in my course, on my Instagram, I try and reference some of these studies because I love to share it with people.
Yeah.
And then I also just want to briefly talk about the benefit to the caregiver. Okay. So, postpartum anxiety and depression is something that is sadly so common, right? And often under aware. Like
Yeah.
people are under aware of the effect of it and how common it is.
Yeah.
I think, oh shoot, I don't want to say the statistic wrong, but I believe in Canada, 1 in 4 women suffer from post-mental health issues of one kind or another. And among the Indigenous community, it's even higher than that.
Why is that?
They have less care, less medical
Yeah.
care, and less awareness, less
Okay.
resources for seeking out that help.
Yeah.
But like all of these women are suffering so much, and many of them feel very isolated, and it can, like, having a baby is one of the most vulnerable times of your life.
It is.
And then you add the hormones to it, which we were talking about before the podcast, and
Yeah.
all of these different elements, and it's so overwhelming. And even if you don't have postpartum anxiety or depression, you're overwhelmed, right? And those elements can make it even more difficult for you as a mom or a caregiver to bond with your
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah.
But again, studies have proven that parents that massage their children, their babies, have significantly decreased percentages
Wow.
of mental health problems
It's
in the
so
postpartum
beautiful.
period. So, and that's partly due to the increased connectivity with your child. It's partly due to engaging in this, wholesome, basic
Yeah.
practice that you can do in your home. It's very calming. And then as well, talking again about that touch with people that you love, right? So it releases oxytocin, which is
Yes.
the happy hormone
Yeah.
in both baby and in caregiver. And that helps to combat the postpartum mental health problems. So, like, these are just a few of the benefits.
Yeah. I'm sure there's
There's
many.
so many. And again, it's like, it's something inexpensive, it's something natural, it's something easy, like fairly quick, that you can
Yeah.
do in your home
Yes.
that will have such amazing benefits, right? So that's why I'm passionate about it, because it's like it's a beautiful thing to share.
I just keep cutting you off, but I don't want to forget something that
Yeah.
was just coming to my
Go
mind.
for it. Yeah.
When you were talking about mental health of babies,
Yeah.
my heart is like right now crushing because
Yeah.
I have seen a lot of moms and like acquaintances of those moms who guide them that let the baby cry it out.
Yeah.
Babies soothe themselves, and I'm like, how can a baby soothe himself or herself? No, they cannot.
No, they can't.
Because they are not used to, first of all, I think they are not even used to, they are not understanding that they are a single person.
Exactly.
They are not a single individual.
They think they're still part of you.
They think, and how long is that for? If I'm not wrong, maybe a couple of months, right?
Yeah.
Not even.
I think it's
maybe
up to about 4
5.
months. Yeah.
So the baby still feels that it's a part of the mom, and how can you just let the baby cry it out?
Yeah, yeah.
So I want to tell people, I want to tell our mama listeners that please don't take such advice.
Yeah.
Your baby needs you. They cannot soothe themselves, and don't let them cry it out. Just don't, because imagine like the baby's in bed waking up and nobody's around. How can they soothe themselves? They are terrified.
Yeah.
They want that touch that they can
Yeah.
recall from when they were in the womb.
course,
They want to
yeah.
feel safe.
Yep.
So it's something that a lot of people are normalizing these days.
Yeah.
Baby will soothe themselves.
It's a very Western culture thing,
And
isn't it?
I don't encourage that. If somebody wants to do it, again, it's
Yeah.
your call, but
Exactly,
please
yeah.
don't do it.
And if
to
someone's
your
thinking
baby.
about like sleep training, because I think that
Yeah.
cry it out really comes into play when you're thinking about sleep
Mm-hmm.
training, there are gentler methods than the
Yeah.
cry it out method. There are so many amazing sleep coaches out there that can help you to find a gentler method to help your baby learn a sleep routine.
Yeah.
But yeah, and with regards to like not making your baby cry it out, letting your baby cry it out, there is an amazing professional called Dr. Greer. And you can find her on Instagram, and she is a scientist who studies the effect that exact method and many other similar ideologies, the effect that it has on a baby's brain. But just don't feel pressured because it's what's considered the norm nowadays, right?
Yeah.
Like, do your research and decide what you are comfortable with. That's like the best thing that I can recommend to parents when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the second thing that you mentioned about the bonding that the parent is having with the baby and
Yeah.
how it helps mental health of the new mom. I think I can definitely remember initial few weeks when I was not like at my very best mentally. It's like too much going on, you're exhausted and all those things happening. And they say that the mom provides that comforting touch to the baby, but I felt that I needed that comforting touch, and my baby literally had his arms open and helped
Aw.
me overcome that. And
Yeah.
it was such a beautiful feeling that how this new little person is helping me
Yep.
come out of something that he did not even do to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
It's a
was such
beautiful
a it's a
exchange.
beautiful
It is.
exchange.
Yeah.
And maybe it might seem difficult for some moms initially, when I've seen like a lot of people cannot bond right away.
Yeah.
I don't know how that feels, but maybe they should try this, right?
I
And then
yeah, I think that
it
that's a
might
really good
help.
point. Yeah, so it's for parents who are suffering from postpartum depression and anxiety, especially when they are struggling to bond with their child, this is a really great activity to do with your baby because it sparks that release of hormones that helps you to form that bond. And just be kind to yourself, be patient with yourself. It's a very difficult time of life,
Yeah,
and it won't last forever,
exactly.
but seek help if you need it. Right. I think we covered really the majority of benefits. For anything else, like just check out my Instagram, check out my digital
Yes.
course because I do go into more detail and I
Yeah.
kind of expand on studies that I have found and how they help us understand different benefits. Because like the spike in brain activity that it gives babies to have, like to be massaged, to have
Yeah.
that loving touch, it's so good for their development. And also, oh, I guess that's one other one. I guess, like, again, talking about physical development, babies, like you were saying, they're not aware they are their own individual person,
Yeah.
right? So they're also not aware where their body ends. They're not aware how their body moves. So doing a gentle activity like baby massage or when they're a little bit older, some of the baby yoga as well, what it's helping them to do is learn about their own body. It's helping
Yeah.
them learn how to move their body. It's
Yeah.
helping them learn how to move their body and
Yeah.
what this feels like, if they like it, if they don't like it, all these different elements. So it is also really good for their physical development.
You know, every single thing that you're talking, it's just making me so emotional.
Aw.
Thinking that how we just keep on talking about what moms go through or what dads go through,
Yeah.
and how it is like a most vulnerable time of their life. But just think about the baby, they are just learning to live.
Yeah.
They don't know like where what to do with
Yeah.
themselves. So
It's so
it's like,
true.
oh my god, I'm just like unable to imagine sometimes when the baby's by himself, what is he thinking, like what all goes in the baby's
Yeah.
mind. They don't even know how
No.
to, if they are having something going on, they don't know anything. They're just trying to,
Learn how to live.
learn
You
how to
said it.
live.
Yeah, exactly. It's so
Oh
true.
my god.
Yeah.
All right. With this, we're going to wrap up this episode here. But this is just part one. As you have seen, Carly has shared a lot of information with us, but she has a lot more to share. For that, we are going to definitely have Carly come one more time for a part two of this episode, where we'll be talking about baby yoga and we will dig deeper into the subject of baby massage. If you want to see part two, please subscribe and you will get notified. For now, Carly has been kind enough to offer us a quick demo on baby massage and how you can do it at your home. And she also has offered us a special discount code that you can use towards any of the digital products that she has on her website. Now over to you, Carly.
Hi there, my name is Carly Snyders, and my company is Tender Touch Baby Massage. I love teaching everyone about why and how to massage their babies. There are so many benefits, and in our podcast today, we spoke about some of those benefits. But when you want to learn more, check me out on Instagram, Tender Touch Baby Massage, and also my website, Tender Touch Baby Massage. I have free resources, and I also have a digital course that you can learn how to massage your baby from the comfort of your own home. It teaches you how to help your baby when they have colic, when they're constipated, when they're teething, helps with sleep routines, and so much more. Please start today. You'll see the benefits right away, I promise. Yeah, awesome. Okay, so I'm going to show you a couple of quick things that you can do for massage that will really help first your baby's digestion and then if they're suffering from teething, because those are things that every baby goes through, and we want to know how we can help them, okay? So, as we spoke about in the podcast, first and foremost, we always give baby that cue. So we rub our hands back and forth in their line of sight, and we tell them it's time for a massage. We're gonna do some massage now, okay, Papa? And you try and watch for their reaction. If you practice this every day, after about 3 weeks, you'll see their reply. Start with a little bit of still touch, especially on their tummy, especially if they're having tummy troubles. So if they're having lots of gas, colic, if they're constipated, let's just give them a little cue that something's about to happen in this part of their body. Just a little bit of a moment of still touch. Try and make eye contact, maybe smile a little bit, engage with your baby. And then super gently, we're gonna come and bring hand over hand, trying to help that poop and that gas move down and out their digestive tract. And we come off as we come towards the diaper and toward our body. And then we're gonna come with 3 fingers in a clockwise motion. We always want to move clockwise around baby's belly, okay? That's the direction our digestion flows. So it's helping the gas and the poop work its way out of their digestive tract. And then you can add some smaller circles in here like the petals of a flower, but we're still moving in that clockwise motion, around and around. And then lastly, you're gonna do not a bicycle, but a tuck. So you're gonna hold on to their calves and bring knees up just till you feel that resistance, that gentle resistance that they'll give you. And then you're gonna come out. When you bring their legs out, I want you to give them a little wobble, or even if you're holding onto their hips, you can give them a little bit of movement through the hips. And what that's doing as well, when you bring the knees up, it's giving some pressure to bring the poop and the gas out. And then when you're bringing their legs down and giving it a little wobble, you're creating space in their digestive tract for the gas to move. Because they don't have muscle mass. As we grow, our digestive tract kind of gains memory and muscle, right? But when they're tiny, everything's really squishy. So sometimes things don't move really well. So that's why by giving it a little bit of pressure, but then also room to move, it's a combination that's going to help them move whatever is holding them up, whether it's gas or poops. Yeah, it should be really good. All right, now if baby is teething, I'm going to warn you, they call it the Marmite massage, facial massage. So babies tend to either love it or hate it, okay? If your baby's in the depths of teething, you can actually take your finger, make sure that your nails are trimmed, your hands are washed, and you can let baby chew on your finger. And with your finger inside their mouth, do some tiny little circular massages on their gums. You can do lower gum and upper gum, okay? And that's just gonna help give a little bit of topical relief. Also, when they're teething, because of the pain, they have a lot of tension throughout their jaw, right? So super simple, a couple of nice little strokes that help is if you bring your fingers to the top lip, and then you bring your finger across the cheekbone, follow the cheekbone out to the ears, and then come to the chin and move along the jaw and out to the ears. And then with this little stroke, you're coming across their upper gum line and their lower gum line, just helping to relieve a little bit of the pain they might be in and a little bit of the tension. And then another one that you can do is if you bring your fingers behind above their ear, sweep behind the ear, down the jaw to the chin. And this again is going to help with any of that tension and pain that they have through their jaw because of teething. So above the ear, sweep behind the ear, and down to the chin. Those are just a couple little strokes. I hope that they help. To learn more, check out my tutorials on my website and check out my digital course, and I go into more depth as to more of these strokes that can help in these situations.